That's a good latte.
What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video with your boy Thick Whips. Today we are talking about the Supra finally being offered in a manual transmission. This is all just, these are just rumors at this point, to be honest. Like, no one really has anything confirmed, but there is a lot of talk and speculation, and apparently some sources that have said that the manual transmission will be coming to the 2022 or 2023 Supra. We're still waiting to find out when that's actually going to happen, or really Toyota to announce anything. Will this transmission be offered in the 4-cylinder, the 6-cylinder? Will it be only in the GRMN version? Will the S58 be coming to the GRMN version? Lots of things, lots of speculation happening right now. Okay, so as you guys know, I sold my Supra a few months back. God, how long has it been? 2-3 months, something like that. But yeah, I finally let go of the Supra. Why did I let it go? A lot of people were asking, well, did you just not like it? Did you just want a manual version? Why, John, did you let go of the Supra and get into a 340, which could be potentially a worse engine because it's the B58 Gen 1 versus the Gen 2. It's an older car. It's cheaper than the Supra. Why would you do that? YouTubers are only supposed to buy more expensive cars and go up the food chain. Why would you go backwards? Are you broke? Are you going broke? Is that why? lots of people saying things. But no, the reason I sold the Supra is because honestly, just kind of bored of it. Just kind of got done with the platform and wanted to move on and do something different. For a while, I had been thinking about getting back into the F30, and I didn't really want to say what I would do for sure until I knew it was going to happen, but I decided what better way to build and get into the F30 platform than to do it with the B58. Now, as you guys know, my original motor that was in the B58 that I purchased ended up getting rod knock, and we have a little more information as to why that happened. There'll be a whole video on it, but pretty certain that those rod bearings were replaced at some point and some thicker oil was stuffed into that engine to suppress the rod knock, and then we changed the oil and that loosened it up and your boy got knock. Now, I know that we're kind of getting off topic here, and there are a lot of reasons as to why I think that. I'm not just like speculating. I have evidence as to why that probably happened and why I believe that that engine had already had issues. But that is not for this video. It is for a further video, and is going to be a good one. But nonetheless, let's talk about the Supra. So I sold mine. I was just ready for a change. I just wanted a different car. And honestly, I hold on to these cars for about a year, and then I just venture on to something else because that's what I enjoy to do. If I can't keep all of my cars, I like to experience as many as possible while I'm here on Earth. I think that is, that's just fun for me, and that's part of being an enthusiast. But I will say a huge drawback for me personally in the Supra was the transmission. The ZF transmission is a great transmission. It is very fast. It can hold a good amount of power and torque. And for today's standards and what that car is, it was plenty good. The ZF transmission is plenty good. There's a reason that they use it in the G80 M3, the X3Ms, all of these new BMWs that are making a ton of power. There's a reason that those cars have the ZF transmission. It is a great transmission, and you are not going to outshift that transmission with a manual gearbox. However, not everybody cares about the fastest car. I personally don't really care about that. I like making my cars fast. You guys see me build cars on this channel. I like to have more power. That's fun to me, but I'm not concerned about being the fastest guy. There will always be someone faster than you. There will always be someone with deeper pockets than you, and that is the name of the game. If you want to have the fastest car, you have to have deep pockets. You have to build engines, you have to build transmissions, you have to have big turbos, you have to have crazy tunes, you have to have methanol injection, port injection, you have to have built drive shafts, you have to have built axles. It is very expensive. So if you want to be the fastest guy out there, that's just a whole different game. There are definitely a large chunk of people who have the Supra that are fast guys. They want to go fast in a straight line. They want to do roll races. They want this B58 powered Supra to just stomp on everything. And I think that we found out pretty quickly that these cars, these new Supras, are highly capable, and they can make really good power right out of the gate. They already have a pretty decent fuel system with a high pressure fuel pump being extremely efficient and supplying the B58 with plenty of fuel to be able to reach numbers like 550, 600 wheel horsepower and even higher until the transmission starts to slip around 650-ish. So you get these like two groups of people, you know, the guys who want a lot of power, the guys who want to row gears. I kind of find myself in the middle sometimes. You know, the 340 is not a manual. I kind of see that car as more like, it's going to be like a daily driver for me, more like a car that I just want to drive often and have it be as reliable as possible, but not making like too much power. Now, as you guys know, I have a B58, the one that got rod knocked, that I will be building, but that will be going into more of like a project car that will be making a ton of power. But with the Supra, I often felt like, you know, even when it had 600 wheel horsepower, that's so much power, like so much horsepower for the streets. 9 times out of 10, you are not going to be using that power unless you are out there racing everyone left and right, which I really just don't do anymore. I'm not like a big street racer guy, so like having the fastest Supra was never really that important to me. I value having a fun car that I can row gears in. Even at like 600 wheel horsepower, I still would have preferred to have that car in a manual transmission just because I think it would be more fun. Like I said, you're not going to be the fastest guy out there all the time, and for me personally, I don't care about the car shifting faster if it's automatic. I want my gears, man. I want to roll through my gears, and every time I get into that E36, I'm quickly reminded as to what type of driver I really am, and that's the one with 3 pedals and manual transmission. I just prefer it. I don't think that there's like one that's better or worse. I think that there's just different types of drivers and different types of builds, and people just prefer different things. So for me personally, I think that the manual transmission is a huge draw. I'd be one of the people that actually would be interested in buying the Supra again if it came out in manual, and I had often said that. I said if they had offered this car in a manual, I would buy it again because I really did like the Supra. There's a lot of things that I really enjoyed about the car. I loved the way it looked after I did what I did to it. I thought the car stock looked really weird, kind of just like odd to me. More so the front end. I had a hard time getting over the front end. Loved the rear end, loved the side profile. The nose just never quite sat well with me. But once I did what I did to it and put it down on some good wheels with a nice lip and carbon bits and the Street Hunter wing on the back, I thought it looked really, really good. I got so much attention in that car driving that thing. People thought it was like a supercar. Now it's a little bit different. You see them everywhere. When I had mine, it was still kind of rare to see them, but now they're all over the place. It's like a dime a dozen. I think that most of the hysteria and hype around the Supra has kind of like died off. Everyone knows it's a B58. Everyone knows what it can make. Everyone knows it was built by BMW. It's just kind of like old news at this point, you know? But I do think it was a great car, and I did really enjoy the car. And if it came out in a manual transmission, I would love to drive one and potentially buy one again because I just really did enjoy the car. I thought it was a really cool, fun project car to own. And it was just a little more unique than like F30 BMWs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple of articles here and kind of go over what they're talking about, but this is the first one that drives. So Toyota Supra with a manual transmission confirmed for US. So here we go. Rumors have emerged from Japan alleging that Toyota has at last given the 3-pedal Supra the green light. And it could bring it to market in 2022. So here was the thing when I started hearing about this, I was like, okay, well, are we going to be getting this in the 4-cylinder or the 6-cylinder? And that seems to be what everyone's talking about. They don't know because Toyota did not, they didn't confirm it. And I will tell you, when I was selling the parts off of my Supra before I sold the car, I did have a person who came to me and bought parts off of my old Supra who had worked for Toyota. They had information about the manual transmission potentially coming. It wasn't confirmed, but it wasn't not confirmed. It was just like people were talking about it, and I had a source at Toyota who was kind of telling me, yeah, like that's gonna happen. I was also a part of a study group launched by a marketing company that was hired by Toyota about a year ago, talking about the car, and a lot of the questions revolved around, you know, the new Z that is coming out, manual transmissions, stuff like that. And I kind of got the feeling from that study group that we were going to definitely see a manual transmission at some point because I think Toyota was kind of realizing like, we probably should have at least offered that. I mean, if BMW is offering manual transmissions still offering them in their G80s and G82s, and this is supposed to be Toyota's sports car, then you would assume that they would offer it in a manual. To me, it was very odd that they did not offer it in a manual. Like, there's still people out here who do prefer manual transmissions, and you will sell them. Maybe not a ton, but you will sell them. And I think it's just a good look. I think it's just a good look in general. that you're still offering the manual transmissions, meaning that you like to make cars for drivers still, people who appreciate having 3 pedals and a manual transmission. I think that goes kind of far. So nothing is quite confirmed yet, you guys. We don't know if it's going to come out in the 4-cylinder or the 6-cylinder. And then also there's rumors talking about the GRMN version with the 3-liter S58 engine that we find in the G80, the G82, and the X3Ms. Now that would be an absolute monster, but I'm telling you right now, if they do that, it's going to be so expensive, and I just don't know how many people are going to buy a Supra with that motor that costs that much. I would assume that that car would be hovering around 80 or 90,000, maybe even more. It could potentially be 6 figures, who knows? But I don't think Supra MK5 with an S58 is going to sell well for $100,000. That's just me personally. I wouldn't spend $100,000 on a Toyota Supra. $100,000, once we get to that mark, my friends, I am looking at Porsches. For BMWs, I'm down with them until about $100,000, and then $100,000 up, I'm looking at Porsches, no doubt. There's even some Porsches that are cheaper than $100,000 that I would like to own. So that's just me personally when it comes to, you know, pricing and what I think they're going to do with this. When is this going to be released? I've seen people talk about 2023, late 2022. We really just don't know yet. There's not a whole lot of information, but everyone's talking about this and everyone's speculating. Is anyone even going to buy the manual transmission? Honestly, I would be interested in buying it, but I would have to drive it first to kind of see how it feels in the car, and would also like to see like how the transmission works out with like tuning and more horsepower, because the ZF transmission obviously can hold pretty decent power. I don't know, lots to unpack. Obviously, you know, this is all just speculation and we don't really know what's going to happen for sure, but it sounds like Toyota is confirming it, that there is going to be something that happens, or there are enough sources from Toyota that are confirming it is going to happen. We just don't have the specifics. So you guys, you super guys down below, go ahead and drop some comments. Tell me, A, do you think it's going to come in the 4-cylinder? B, do you think it's going to come in the 6-cylinder? Do you think it's going to have an S58? Do you think it's going to have the B58? And lastly, is this, do you want to buy one? Do you have a Supra right now? Are you going to trade it in to get the manual? Do you not care? Do you enjoy the ZF? What kind of driver are you, and does manual even like spark the interest? You know, and like I said before, when I first bought the car, I was like, I don't know, I don't really like miss the manual, but in due time, I missed the manual. Now, I had the E36 at the tail end of the ownership of the Supra, and that kind of made up for that lack of not having the gears. But even when we had the pure turbo on the Supra and it was making really good power, it just kind of felt boring to me. It just kind of got boring to me. And the car's already so small that it's like purpose was to be a sports car. Whereas like the F30, I got room in it. Like I can put stuff in it. We can take like trips in it. It's got a lot of room. It's very comfortable. Throw luggage in there, whatever you need to do. The Supra is like, it's a sports car. We drove my Supra up to New Jersey. That was like 10 hours in the car, I'm telling you. That was enough for me. Like I didn't want to drive that car anymore after that road trip. But even when I was making really good power after the Pure 800, man, I just kind of like lost interest in the car a little bit. I wasn't driving it like hardly at all. I was really driving the E36 more than anything. And that was how I kind of knew that like it was probably time to let it go. Also, the market is just ridiculous. So I knew if I was going to let go of that car, now was probably the right time, because I was going to get good money for it, and we don't know how much longer we're going to see that with like these newer cars. But anyways, you guys tell me what you think. You going to get this thing in manual? You want it? Do you even care anymore? Is the Supra and ZF fine for you? Are you missing a manual transmission? Do you miss rowing those gears? How much do you think it's going to cost? I heard the new Z is going to cost like $60,000. Remember when everyone came out and the new Z was like, oh, it's only going to be $40,000 and it's going to make more power than the Supra? I knew that that car would not be $40,000. I heard recently that some pricing was released and that car was going to be like $60K. I don't know how many people are going to buy that car. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. Drop those comments down below. Love you. See you in the next one. Peace.